dominant hand on your heart and breathe. And put a picture of something that brings you joy or peace or you're thankful for. And then breathe through this picture. And feel the power of what's in this picture spread through your heart. And spread all over your body. Feel it swirl around. And keep breathing. If you don't breathe, you're gonna die, you know that, right? Okay. You may even see the power of this picture, or you may hear it. Or maybe another picture will come up. And just say hello to it and let it go. And you are complete with this. Go back to your heart chakra, your heart. And bring the power down. Bring it first of all to your solar plexus. And feel the power of the picture in your solar plexus. You know, the 2 fingers above your button, your belly button. And breathe. And now bring it down to your sexual organs, your gonads. And feel the power, the energy swirl around in there. And one more time, down to your first chakra, the one you're sitting on. And feel it wake up and get ready to go further down. We're going to join Mother Earth and bring all the stuff that you picked up going down that isn't yours to deal with right now. Bring that down to Mother Earth to be recycled. Put down your roots and go all the way. to the core of the earth, where everything is gonna get fired up and broken down and recycled. And as you go up, it will be cleansed and energized, and bring it up again to your first chakra. And your second chakra. And the energy is re-energizing those chakras. It feels so good. Oh. And take it up. And up to your heart. And up again to your throat. Where it will cleanse your ears and help your mouth say the truth at all times. And one more time up to your third chakra, in the middle of your head, and the pituitary gland associated with it. And now take it up one more time to your seventh chakra above your head. And breathe through that. And then open up the chakra while you look up at the sky. Father Sky will bring you the white light of the universe. And now bring that white light down all the way to your heart. And further down, so your whole column of white light will go all the way down to your first chakra. And about a foot down from there, this beautiful column of white, powerful light, the God light, the Spirit light. And create an egg from down the 1 foot and going around your body and all the way a foot above your head. And fill all that up with the peace and love from the white light, all the way up. Feel it swirl around and make you peaceful and loving, caring, one with the universe and your fellow beings. Feel the peace. And now slowly bring your hands together in front of your heart. Rub them together. And then come back to the room. And when you're there, touch the chair or the floor to dump whatever you still don't want because it doesn't fit in your life today. And then slowly come back to the room. And say hello to all the beings in this room. And take one more deep breath. Wow. All those beautiful beings in this room. Thank you for being here. Thank you for Spirit to guide us today. We are very grateful. Thank you.
Krista, Tom, welcome. And to everyone else, welcome. My name's Michael. Hi. Can I ask everyone how you doing? Can I ask you one more time and I'll help? How you doing? Yeah! All right. I've got a couple announcements today after I pick this paper up. We're calling all artists. We're opening the gallery wall in Sibley Hall, and the opportunity for our member artists includes a free gallery wall space for 1 month, a Meet the Art soiree, an 80-20 split for any work sold, 80% to well-earned recognition. See Nancy or an administration elf for scheduling. The administration elves are volunteers that help in the office all week long, like the shoemaker and the elves thing. And there's going to be a second new member soiree, and it's scheduled for August 20th at 6 p.m. Bring an appetizer to share and enjoy some quality in community and fellowship, and that is so important. We'll have fun activities, and everyone is welcome. And I'm going to go teach Sunday school right now to the kids. And I wanted to let y'all know we are looking for other helpers with Sunday school. And all you need to do is do the fingerprint thing. It's really painless, and it's so rewarding to see the light in these kids' eyes. And one of my aims as your president of the board is to bring children here again, because they just bring so much life and love to everyone. And I want to thank you for listening, and please, if you have any questions about anything, my door is always open to everyone. So namaste and have a beautiful service. I love you all.
Good morning. I'm Chris, and I'm filling in for Bob for the membership recognition. I will try and do it justice. Today, I'm highlighting one of our newest members, Gary O. Gaffney. Gary is an interesting and entertaining guy. He was born in Long Beach, California, but moved to Europe when he was 6 months old. He later moved back to California. He has a long history of show business, starting with his grandma. His dad worked in nightclubs and circuses starting in 1954 as a trapeze artist and a flyer from ages 18 to 43 while in Europe. He was also in the World Fair. He married Gary's mom in 1950, and she was a vocalist and a ballerina. Gary started his young career at age 3 to 4 years old as a circus walk-on, and then started performing when he was 6 to 7 years old. When he was 10, he started playing the guitar and piano and did folk music in the States. He was also a surfer. He played in small bands through college and received an associate's degree in arts. When he was 26, he began a long career in aerospace, doing lasers and logistics, building DC-9s. He worked in the satellite division. He built helicopters for the military until he was 62, and then retired from that industry. Gary also received a bachelor's degree in human services. He has a 46-year-old son and a grandson who is 12, and they live in Long Beach, California. He's very familiar with CSLs and has a deep love for metaphysics. He moved to Prescott 1 year ago and is currently doing interiors, getting houses ready for rent or sale through realtors. He loves to sing and play guitar, but he takes great pride in his 95-year-old car, a 1931 Model A Ford that maxes out at 53 miles per hour. Gary has a great sense of humor and loves to laugh, and I hope you'll take the time to get to know him better.
Where's Gary?
Right there.
I started the LA Circus 30 years ago now, 35 years ago. Elephants, trapeze, everything. We got to talk circus. There's not many people you can talk circus with, let me tell you. start off with a song. Everybody can stand. Bob would get you up, but he's not here. And we decided to start off with a song that makes 103 degrees outside a joyous thing. It's called I Can See Clearly Now. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, shiny day. Bright, bright, sunshiny day. Yes, I can make it now. The pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. And look straight ahead, nothing but blue skies. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Bright, bright, sunshiny day. Bright, bright, sunshiny day. Bright, bright, sunshiny day.
And it is going to be a bright, bright, sunshiny day with plenty of rays from that hot old sun coming down. And unfortunately, the rain did go away. But at least in my backyard, my garden says we got a good amount of it. And as I'm driving along on the countryside, you notice that it's green for Arizona. It looks really nice, especially when you come down Prescott Lakes Parkway coming down. You look down into that valley, and you could swear there's actually a lot of lush green things. When you go and walk it, you realize that the grass is about this tall. But it's really beautiful. So welcome. My name is John Haas, and it's my pleasure to be the service leader today, whether you are here in the sanctuary beaming with your faces that are sunshiny, or you're out in some other place and time on the internet enjoying us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and all of those other outlets. So it's a great time to be here, and it's another auspicious day. I always say this when I come to speak, that it seems like every day is auspicious. But what's important about today? Birthdays, because it's the first Sunday of August. And it's also a time in the old tradition when we would look at cross quarter, halfway between the summer solstice and the autumnal equinox. So some call it Lammas Day, and some call it Lunasa. The Celts called it that. And by remembering this, it's first harvest. So when the first wheat is harvested, and then you grind it up and crack it, and you make that first loaf of bread from the new season's wheat and harvest. So something to be thankful for. And of course, we here at the Center for Spiritual Living provide tools, spiritual tools, to help make our lives better. And of course, when our lives improve, what happens all around us? Well, the rest of the world improves too. You suddenly realize, boy, those people were a lot nicer than I thought they were. When we heal, the world heals. And that's how we can have the world that's going to work for everybody. But it has to start with us. If it's not working for us, well, guess what we do? In front of you, there's a prayer request form. And if you're sitting in the front row, it's behind you. You can pick up one of those, fill it out, and put it in the prayer box, and we'll pray on that for 1 week. And of course, you're not getting what you want? Come on, put in another one next week. There is no limit to the number of prayers you can receive. And as a special bonus, right after service, you find somebody with a purple stole, you can sit down and have what we call a 3-minute miracle. In other words, you've got about 3 minutes, but we'll give you 30 seconds. 30 seconds to say what it is you want or what's your complaint, and then we'll say, wait a minute, let's turn that around. Let's turn that into a prayer, and let's make the world a better place for you today. So that's our way of thanking you. So at this point, we want to just notice the bright, sunshiny day and have Tom and Krista come up and give us another song, and we'll kick this thing off.
This is one of our favorites, and I hope it is yours too. Michael Gott and also Karen Drucker participated in writing this song. And it's just so
I got
lovely.
to hear Karen do it one time
Here,
on the stage
yeah.
here when she came. Just beautiful.
She's amazing. I'll talk a little more while he tunes. We want to be tuned.
This weather.
And it's
Really
true. It is hard. So I hope everyone is doing beautifully today. It is a beautiful day, and it's so nice to be here. Always, always. To see all your beautiful smiling faces.
And while you're tuning up, I could just give us a little opening prayer.
All right.
There we go.
So let's just remember together that right where we are, God is. There is no place, in fact, where God is not. And since it's everywhere and every when, it's right here in our own bodies. It's in the seat that's holding us up. It's in the sanctuary. It's in the whole community, the whole world that's being held in God's hand. So that means that we can be grateful for this sunshiny day. We can be grateful for the music that we're getting from Tom and Krista, from the help that is everyone's bringing this service together. And so I am grateful for this service, for the teachings, and I just let these words go into the action of love and law, knowing it's already done, and we can just anchor that with, and so it is.
This moment in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when I feel I've lost my way, when I go inside, quiet my mind, I hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that
verse again. Put the first
And
again.
then, almost. There we go. Yeah. In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am. Letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. There is only love.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Reminding us that that love that we feel is always around us. Ernest Holmes spoke about many aspects of love, and he taught that all of our emotions are signposts, and those emotional signposts help us to guide ourselves as we move along. Some emotions don't seem like they're so great, and somehow in our society we have kind of given a bad name to this emotion called anger. But it shows up, especially when people pull out in front of me, when right behind me there is a mile of open space. Why didn't they just wait 5 more seconds? So Ernest Holmes would have told me, anger can be turned into love. And the very power that has been destroying me as I'm behind the wheel can be made to build up my life and grow. So anger can be turned into love. And in fact, every emotion is a guidepost back to love. So let's take that thought into a few moments of silence. Because there's only love. Could I get the candle lighters to come up? The Center for Spiritual Living honors and celebrates the world's many faith traditions as we light these candles. We acknowledge both the rich diversity of spiritual expression and the underlying unity that connects us all. We light a candle for Christianity rooted in the teachings of Jesus the Christ, who revealed the path of love, forgiveness, compassion, and the presence of God within. For Islam, the practice of surrendering to the will of God as revealed through the prophets, peace be upon them, affirming the oneness of God, creator of heaven and earth. For Judaism, honoring a sacred covenant that began with Abraham, grounded in faith, wisdom, community, and devotion. For Buddhism, the middle way of mindfulness, compassion, and awakening, teaching freedom from suffering through inner awareness. For Taoism, the path of harmony with the Tao, the ultimate reality that embraces and transcends all apparent opposites. For the Baha'i Faith, affirming the unity of humanity, the oneness of all religions, and the vision of a peaceful world. For all indigenous traditions and nature-based religions, honoring the sacredness of the earth and living in conscious relationship with the great spirit that animates all life. For the goddess traditions, honoring the divine feminine in all her sacred expressions, celebrating the cycles of life, intuition, creation, nurturing, and spiritual wisdom. And of course, for the science of mind, a philosophy of life that teaches there is a power for good in the universe and that we can use this power in our lives and in the world. And we can add to that by saying together, I am here for God. My purpose is to express the nature of God as love, abundance, and joy in everything I do. The good I seek for myself is what I desire for all people everywhere. And today we have as our guest musicians, Tom and Krista.
Jackson, I think, is enjoying the beach in Cabo Wabo right now. I'm sure he's on tour playing really hard. So 14 years ago, about a week earlier, it was the end of July, maybe July 27th, we think it was the date. We were playing here. And at that point, this thing wasn't even here yet, I don't think. It was playing on the stage. And Rosie Centeno, you guys know Rosie, was sitting right where you're sitting. 9 months pregnant.
8 months, actually.
8.5 months pregnant. And we sang the song, and I had just written the song, and I had wrote it to sing for all you folks. It was kind of a song they played. It was the first time I'm playing it. And during the middle of playing the song, Amaya speaks to Rosie, goes, "Hi, my name is Amaya, and I'm coming tonight." And she wasn't
She wasn't due yet.
And in fact, she calls her midwife and said, "You're not due yet." And she goes,
And the midwife goes, "Well, what are your symptoms?" And Rosie says, "I'll be right there."
and so she gave birth. So this is Amaya's song, we call
Yeah.
it. And if you're pregnant, don't blame. The song is called "Wash Over Me." Ooh, I like that guest musician. Night in the desert, no comfort in sight. By myself, but I know I'm not alone. I reach through the darkness, and I pull on the light, and I let it wash right over me. Right over me. It's pouring down, lifting my heart, turning me all around. Right over me. Right over me. Oh, hallelujah. I let it wash right over me. Down this long road of family and friends, I come to a place that I've never been before. I pull on the love of all that's brought me here, and I let it wash right over me. Right over me. Pouring down. It's pouring down. Lifting my heart. Lifting my heart. Turning me all around. Right over me. Right over me. Oh, hallelujah. Oh, hallelujah. I let it wash right over me. Deep in the darkness, no light do I know. But I hear a small voice starting to grow, and like a river reaching the sea, I let it wash right over me, right over me. It's pouring down, lifting my heart, it's turning me over, right over me. Oh, hallelujah, and I let it wash right over me. Yes, I do. Sing it with us. Right over me. It's pouring down, lifting my heart, it's turning me over, right over me. Oh, hallelujah, and I let it wash right over me. Oh, yes, I do. I let it wash right over me. Through and through, I let it wash right over me. Hi, Amaya.
Thank you. Happy birthday, Amaya.
Well, it's my great pleasure now to bring Reverend Darlene Dunning up. She serves as the chaplain supervisor for Maggie's Hospice here in northern Arizona, and her role is like a heart with ears. She helps people discover meaning through a caring presence, compassionate listening, and even humor, as we'll see in just a moment. Oftentimes, there are moments of love, hope, and resilience, and she co-teaches a grief relief series of volunteer training and offers leadership and mindfulness meditation programs. So she's served in many varieties, including court-appointed mediator in private practice, and I've known her for many years, and she has been a senior minister, and now she's here with us. So join me in welcoming Darlene.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Krista. Mike in the booth there, he makes everything happen. And I have so many friends here. It's so great to see you. And I know that you already know this. What we're going to talk about is that sufficiency is your superpower. And it's so great to see so many friends and that you have such superpower that you bring. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. Really, really grateful. So do you ever look in your closet and you see those outfits that you think you hadn't seen for a while? Those 3 things you forgot you owned, and then you say to yourself, I have nothing to wear. That's scarcity thinking. And it's funny because it's familiar. Sufficiency is harmonizing good. And so trusting and knowing that our body is healthy, that's sufficiency. Fulfilling relationships, work that we love so much that it's play. That what we can do, what we like to do, whenever we'd like to do it, that's also prosperizing good. And I want to begin with a confession. I love sufficiency, especially when it arrives early, fully funded, and with free shipping. And recently, I ordered a chicken and an egg. I'll let you know. What if the greatest wealth that we have is already alive inside of us? You know, this is the day, this is the moment where we make a choice about how we desire to be. I know that you know this already. I had purchased an RV during the pandemic as a satellite place. And it had served its purpose. It was good, and I was ready to let it go, and I wanted to allocate those funds somewhere else. I had already accumulated the RV, and then now I wanted to allocate it to another project. So my coworker, her dad, Steve, who's like this superhero, Steve had it parked right there at his shop, and his boss comes by. He says, "Steve, do you have a new RV?" And Steve says, "No, I'm fixing it up for a friend." And he says, "Well, do you want to buy it? Do you want to sell it? I want to buy it." And within about 3 days' time, there was serendipity right there. There was sufficiency that I already had. And I didn't have to accumulate anything else, but it was just that sense of connection and that serendipity that was already there. And for him to show up and say yes within about 3 days' time. And Steve says, "Don't worry, he's good for the check." So we didn't have to do too much. So that's a wonderful sufficiency serendipity story. So now that's engaged in another project. It's similar to what Richard Bach says in Jonathan Livingston Seagull. He says, "You must begin by knowing the end in mind. You must know that you've already arrived. So the way to get there is to know that you've already arrived." So there was that RV. It had already arrived in my life, and now it was ready to be gifted and sold to another person. I had another friend who was practicing prosperity consciousness, and every morning he stood in front of the mirror and he's standing in the mirror and he says, "I'm open and receptive to unexpected income." So Monday he found $20 in the laundry. Tuesday he found $100 in that old jacket that was in that closet. And then Wednesday he found a gift card in the kitchen. Anyone have any of those everything drawers that has everything in it? So by Thursday, he was convinced that he had mastered the circulation of harmonizing good. And he smiled and he said, "Exactly. Spirit knew where I left it. Apparently, abundance had been trying to reach me, but I kept putting it in safe places." So sometimes abundance arrives first as awareness. Glad to see you laughing and smiling. That's great. It's funny because, some of us do the same thing with our own good. We pray for a sign when we're sitting on our gifts. I'm the only one that does that. We ask for direction while ignoring the idea that's been tapping us on the shoulder for about 6 months. We may say that when my life changes, I'll feel confident. Well, Spirit may be whispering, try reversing that sentence. I feel sufficient. I feel confident, and my life changes. So today I'd like to offer 3 ideas, just 3. It's like to go. We're going to order 3 ideas to go. Number 1, we can change the story that we rehearse. Number 2, we can see and feel the future. And then 3, we can give the vision feet. We can see it, feel it, rehearse it, and then walk toward it. So first, we can change the story we rehearse. Everybody on board? You picking up what I'm putting down? Our mind, our body, our nervous system respond to the patterns we repeatedly practice. Second, we can see and feel the future. Not as magical thinking, but as spiritual rehearsal that prepares us to recognize and act on possibility. And then number 3 is, a beautiful inner picture becomes transformational when there's that change, and it allows us to transform and step into what's next. So for this, I affirm, my future is in motion, and so am I. Would you like to try that on, like the closet? My future is in motion, and so am I. We can see it, feel it, rehearse it, and walk toward it. John talked about the first fresh harvest of the wheat. And if we imagine two people planting gardens, the first keeps digging up the seed every morning and checking whether prosperity has happened. Anything? Anything happening? Come on, tomato, I affirmed you yesterday. The second waters, tends to the soil, cultivates, pulls those weeds, gives the seed some sunlight, and trusts the process enough to keep showing up. Sufficiency is not sitting beside that barren soil and saying, everything's perfect. Sufficiency is recognizing that I have soil, I have seeds, I have water, I have today. So what can I faithfully do with what is here? I appreciate what the philanthropist and author Lynn Twist shares. And she says that the definition of philanthropy is love of humankind. So today, about being sufficient is about loving humankind. We can already make a difference with what we have, and we can have that experience of what we have expands. So that shift is from accumulating, like the RV, to allocating or sharing, from proving to participating, from what am I missing to what wants to move through me now. So I invite you to say with me, I have enough to begin, and I have enough to begin. I have enough to begin, and I am enough to begin. Let me do that again. I know I'm enough. I have enough to begin. I am enough to begin. I have the soil and the weed puller. Don't use it too often. But I have the seeds, the sunlight, and the water. So that sentence, that I am enough, becomes the bridge to our first point. How do I change that story that I've been rehearsing? I'm so familiar with it. How do I move from scarcity or scarcity to sufficiency? Well, I can notice, I can also inquire, and then I can choose and act. So sufficiency begins with notice. Oh, I notice there's a scarcity story that's running. I'm feeling limited. I'm feeling there's a little bit lack in whatever area in my life. And then I can inquire, is this the whole truth? Or is this an old interpretation? Is it the whole truth, nothing but the truth, like Lily Tomlin? Well, to that. Then choose, is this the whole truth? We can choose what is sufficient here already. What resource, relationship, idea, strength, or next step? Just one step. What step is available? And then finally, I can act. What would I do from sufficiency rather than fear? How do I move from fear to faith? And this distinction matters. Acting from insufficiency says, I must get this so I can finally be enough. It's the chase. So if we're able to set the chase down, chasing from that place of not enough, then I can act from sufficiency, which says, because I'm already rooted in divine life, I can participate, create, learn, receive, share, and grow. When I was in ministerial school at Founders way back when, I was getting those bills in the mail. I had this apartment in Palms where Ernest Holmes had lived, and in that area. And Dr. Ken Gordon, by the way, who's our former president of Centers for Spiritual Living, he tells a very similar story. So I got this envelope in the mail, and the stamp was not canceled. I am so prosperous. And things shifted. They started to turn around. I started blessing those bills because someone had provided the service. Louise Hay talks a lot about that. Someone had provided that service or that product. And so it's something like that where we can have that turnaround, that sufficiency is who we are. So how? How do I do that? How, our culture, if we have a not enoughness, we can get curious. So I can ask, what am I afraid that there will not be enough of? Time, energy, love, health, recognition, support, belonging, opportunity. What do I believe that more would prove? That I'm safe, valued, lovable, successful, worthy. What have I decided can never change? I listen to the phrase that, oh, it's just the way it is. It keeps things in place. It makes me a little bit complacent. It often reveals a belief beneath our behavior. So what I'd like us to do is put your hand over your heart, imagining a field of unconditional love, and ask, where have I mistaken a story about limitation for the truth about me? And no judgment. We're excavating a little bit. We're archaeologists. So just imagine being in that context of unconditional love and sufficiency. Because we live in this culture that has these myths that there's not enough, and because there's not enough, more is better. Or the third myth is that it's just the way that it is. So myth number one, it easily becomes that if there's not enough, then I'm not enough. We can compare our bank account, our body, our career, our relationships, our spirituality, our intelligence, our age, our accomplishments. And scarcity whispers that somebody else's good subtracts from ours. So then, myth number two is more is better. If one achievement feels good, then maybe 5 will make us feel even more secure. If one closet is full, perhaps we need a larger closet. I can identify with that. This is how we become exhausted, collecting things that we once prayed would make us peaceful. And then myth number 3 is that's just the way it is. This may be the most immobilizing one because it turns that complacency into, in essence, a prophecy. And it keeps going unless we interrupt that pattern. It could be that there's a myth that my family has always struggled, that people don't like me and I don't get those opportunities. Or I've always been anxious about money. You know, these beliefs that we've gathered, they close the door on possibility before it gets a chance to knock. Dr. Ernest Holmes, who's the founder of the Science of Mind Teaching, which is a guide for spiritual living, he gives us a spiritual counterpoint. He says, principle is not bound by precedent. So that pattern may describe yesterday without determining tomorrow. That gives us a chance to notice and inquire and choose and then act. So sufficiency is not even excess. It's the experience of recognizing that we're engaging wisely, gratefully, and purposefully. Lynn Twist says that when we stop spending so much energy trying to get more of what we truly do not need, we free up enormous energy to make a difference with what we already have. That is the doorway to spiritual practice. We are having and sharing from a place of sufficiency. So Dr. Ernest Holmes describes the mind as creative soil, and the soil doesn't argue with the seed. Plant tomatoes, it doesn't really say, hey, I was hoping for roses. In spiritual practice, the question becomes, what are we repeatedly planting? In spiritual practice, we can look at those myths and just notice how those internal stories may become this background music, that there's not enough time, energy, resources, or opportunities. There was a woman who, I'll call her Grace. She'd spent years saying, I'm terrible with money. She said it jokingly, apologetically, and almost affectionately, that she wore this identity that she was terrible, like she had some quirky relative in a guest room. And no one has a quirky relative here? She gathered, how many? She gathered all the evidence that proved that she was terrible. Every mistake became proof. And then one day a friend said, well, what if you stopped rehearsing that identity? And turn that around and say, I make peaceful, wise choices with money. And then she did something completely unglamorous. Once a week, she sat down for about 15 minutes. She looked at her accounts. Like sometimes you don't want to look at things. She looked at it. She breathed, and she made a conscious choice. 6 months later, the greatest change was not the numbers, but she no longer felt afraid to look. That is practical spirituality. And we're not pasting an affirmation over panic. She could be very well panicked. But we're bringing our compassionate awareness to more skillful practice. So think of one sentence, just one, that you have repeatedly told yourself that you're ready to retire. Don't say it out loud unless you want everyone's advice at coffee hour. You can silently say to yourself, I'm learning to. Perhaps I'm learning to trust. I'm learning to receive. I'm learning to speak up. I'm learning to rest without regrets. Ooh, that's juicy. I'm learning to prosper. And it's something that Emma Curtis Hopkins, who was the teacher of teachers, might say. She taught about uncompromising recognition of divine good. Her inspiration points us away from those experiences that we've been rehearsing all the time and then turning back to the spiritual reality. It doesn't mean that pretending that the bank statement is different. It means refusing to let the bank statement define spirit or the size of possibility. Eric Butterworth in Spiritual Economics, he refers and he reframes prosperity as an inner state of consciousness, not merely a pile of possessions, but in that sense, we can begin to ask, how can life move through me? So tool number one, we can interrupt the story. This week, maybe catch ourselves with a recurring story that's been limiting. You can pause and put your hand on your heart and see if that helps settle that. And I'm not saying that we affirm we own 12 islands by Tuesday. You know, our nervous system might file an objection with that. But we can also affirm for ourselves, I am available to wiser possibility. I take the right next step. Good flows in my life in beneficial ways. Now remember that gentleman who was finding money all over the place he already had? Oftentimes, sufficiency is discovering what has been ours all along. Intelligence, resilience, loving relationships, imagination, choice. We can choose again. How do we do that? Well, we can see it and we can feel it. Napoleon Hill, it's kind of like the greatest hits of the Beatles and everyone else. Napoleon Hill famously wrote, "Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve." So that dream is not a substitute for practice. When I became an all-American swimmer, I envisioned every aspect of my race. There's some research that came out about there were 500 athletes that guided a 6-month, they had a 6-month of guided imagery, and it really had a positive impact. It improved the performance. It improved those beneficial outcomes, that imagery or what we're thinking and feeling so we can see it and feel it. But then the skiers still had to ski, that they couldn't just imagine it. In other words, they had to still ski. We can visualize the basket if we're a basketball player, but somebody has to pick up the ball. You know, elite athletes can rehearse those skills, those strategies, those emotions, that successful execution. And imagery is not just seeing the picture, but it can involve those sensory detail, the feelings, the emotions, that felt experience of performance. So we can practice. The way to get there is to know that you've already arrived, like Richard Bach says. We can practice living from the end. We can feel the feeling of the fulfilled intention and continually rehearse that. We can use that as a contemplative practice without pretending we need to control all those external variables that we may not have control over. So I invite us to close our eyes for about 10 seconds, just 10, if it's comfortable for you, and picture a Friday 6 months from now. You're getting ready for dinner, and something meaningful has worked out. Perhaps not exactly as you anticipated, but beautiful enough that gratitude fills the room. At this dinner, who's at the table? What are you celebrating? What does relief feel like in your shoulders? What expression is on your face? And you can open your eyes, and here is the opportunity. You can pick a Friday 6 months from now, put it on your calendar, and title it something like Everything Worked Out, Celebration Dinner. Yeah? Yes, really. Yeah, and you don't need to know the restaurant yet. Spirit can handle that on open table later. The purpose is not to command the universe to obey a reservation. The purpose is to give your imagination a constructive destination. And then ask, if I trusted that meaningful progress is possible, what would I begin doing now? And that is the future rehearsal. So for 60 seconds each morning, try this on. See one meaningful result. Feel the qualities you want to embody, whether that's gratitude, steadiness, confidence, generosity, sufficiency, and then ask, what would the future do today? So our imagination is much like a rehearsal room. And the third thing is that we're going to give the vision feet. You ready to give it feet? Similar to Edwene Gaines, who she emphasized spiritual principles, and she talked about not only the law of circulation, but goal setting, forgiveness. She says that all debt is about forgiveness. She talked about finding one's purpose. And the genius is that prosperity is not left floating in the clouds somewhere, but it gets a calendar, it gets a checkbook, it gets a conversation and a decision. So I finally realized that I am enough and I have enough. It is a beautiful spiritual awakening. And then I went to Costco. And apparently enough doesn't come in a 12-pack. But through those spiritual practices of affirmative prayer, visioning, gratitude practices, they can help us be less fearful, and we can participate even more fully in faith. Eric Butterworth says that prosperity is a way of living, thinking, not just money or things. So that way of living is like verbs. We have a lot of verbs. We can call, we can apply ourselves, we can forgive, we can save, we can share, we can ask for support, we can learn, and most of all, I think we can begin. So I invite you to hold one finger up, just one. No one's looking. And then that is your one step. Think about what that is. Think of that celebration dinner 6 months from now. What one action between today and that table? Maybe it's making an appointment. Maybe it's opening an account. Maybe it's submitting a proposal. Maybe it's having an honest conversation. Walking 20 minutes. Signing up for a class. Woo, and forgiving ourselves enough to begin again. So tool number 3 is in the next 24 hours, this time tomorrow, before this time tomorrow. And small is fine, but visible is essential. Remember, our prosperity friend from the beginning is that he found it, he already had it, he discovered sufficiency in his own pockets, in his own heart. So this next step may be closer than we think. What if the greatest wealth was already alive within us? We can see it, feel it, rehearse it, and walk toward it. So those 3 truths we can take home. I finally reached that place of spiritual sufficiency, and I looked around in my heart, I looked around in my house, and I said, I have everything I need. And then Amazon sent me an email saying, are you sure? And I'll let you know about the chicken or egg, which came first. That's deep, isn't it? So write down an everything worked out celebration dinner on a Friday, 6 months from now. And I invite us to say these affirmations we can take with us. My mind rehearses possibility. My mind rehearses possibility. My heart anticipates harmonizing good. My heart anticipates harmonizing good. My feet move with faith. My feet move with faith. And one more time, my future is in motion, and so am I. My future is in motion, and so am I. So I know that we're celebrating already, and I invite us to, whenever insufficiency creeps in, just if I'm feeling not enough, if there's a sense of lack, then I can say, well, what is here that I can use? And then if I'm thinking more is better, then I'll also say what is truly enough for this moment. Or if that's just the way it is, remember Dr. Holmes saying, principle is not bound by precedent. So limitation might say, prove yourself. Sufficiency might say, express yourself. Lack may say, wait till you have more. Sufficiency may say, begin with what is here. And scarcity might say, woo, might say, this is all there will ever be. But what sufficiency says is life is still creating. That is sufficiency, which is our superpower. Life is still creating. So I invite us to turn within in this moment, and moment of inner celebration, and trusting and knowing that there is this one life. It is filled with the pure possibility and the intention of spirit, knowing that God's good, that harmonizing presence, that there is this fulfilling, amazing divine source. And trusting that the divine source is all. It is ever available. It is everywhere present. It is in, through, as us, and around us, and in everything, and in everyone. And so we begin to see this even more. We see it. We feel it. And we take action from that sense of sufficiency, knowing that there is a bountiful blessing that is happening, that there are so many blessings that are happening. And we see this. We embody this. And in the fullness of acceptance of the greatest good, the greater good that is happening with this harmonizing good, that harmony shows up in our relationships, in our wealth, in our peace of mind, and knowing that the best is happening, knowing that there is good that is coming out of what we are seeing, what we are feeling, and having that sense of empowerment and positivity guide us along the way. For this, I am so grateful and deeply appreciative in the sense of sufficiency and joy, and feeling honored and cherished in this very moment. I know that this beautiful community has so many blessings that are happening. And for this, I am grateful as I release this word, knowing that divine right action is carrying us forward and that we are well escorted and ushered along the way. And so be it, and so it is. Amen.
What a beautiful message, and bringing back with Tom and Krista. Are we going to wash out? No, we're going to give yourselves to love.
We are.
You betcha.
So please sing along with us.
And stand up and give yourself to love.
Yeah. Kind friends all gathered round, there's something I would say. What brings us together here has blessed us all today. Love has made a circle, and it holds us all inside. Strangers are as family, and loneliness can't hide. So give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your heart to the tears and the laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to I've walked these mountains in the rain. I've learned to love the wind. Been up before the sunrise to watch the day begin. I always knew I'd find you, though I never did know how. Like sunshine on a cloudy day, you stand before me now. So give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your heart to the tears and the laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. When love is born in fire and planted like a seed, love can't give you everything, but it gives you what you need. And love comes when you're ready. Love comes when you're afraid. It will be your greatest teacher, the best friend you've ever made. So give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your heart to the tears and the laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your heart to the tears and the laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. We must give ourselves to love. Give yourself to love. Thank you. Good choir.
Thank you. And could I get the ushers to come forward, and we're going to have a blessing of our prosperity and know that there is a sufficiency among us. So if we have our divine love in and through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, life. And while we're doing that, what I want to do kind of at the same time is welcome people. Yes? What's that? Well, we normally would do a song first. I know it says it right there. And I also am looking at our lovely clock. And so making a suggestion that we'll do the song. Can you do a little short version of the song? No? It's a long song? Oh, go for it. Come on up. Tom and Krista, because we are sufficient.
We actually rehearse this stuff, you know. We don't just come up here and play. We spend time here.
We rehearse our future. Yes, we do.
I know. Come on. This is a beautiful song by a Colorado musician named Rebecca Folsom. She's a great songwriter. And we had a pleasure many, many years ago of bringing her here to Prescott to play. And this one song really.
Sitting with you, the sunlight streaming in. Oops. See, now I've got it. Oh, no. Okay, I'm going to cheat. sitting with you, the sunlight streaming in, the gentle lull of voices as another day begins. And I think about how I spend my time, each moment so small like pennies I found, once forgotten in my pocket. Oh, they are each extraordinary days of our lives, and how they move so fast, and how the most significant moments we don't notice until they've passed, until they've passed. A lifetime of coin tosses, a carousel of gains and losses, like the blessed day I met you, or the morning the doctor gave the news, or the accident that happened in a flash. Time slowed and we slipped the cap. We couldn't believe that nothing happened. Oh, they are each extraordinary days of our lives, and how they move so fast, how the most significant moments we don't notice till they've passed, and round and round and round we go, round and round and back and forth and upside down, until the end. More than we know, they are each extraordinary days of our lives, and how they move so fast, how the most significant moments we don't notice until they've passed, until they've passed. Sitting with you, sunlight streaming in. Thank you. Thank you, John.
Bless our sufficiency and our abundance, because we know that we are already there. We have already planted our good, and it has come to fruition, and we see the future ahead of us, and we are treating with our feet to move toward it, and so it is. And it's time to recognize if there's some folks that have been away, or they've come back and they want to stand up and give their name and where they're from. Any folks who is over ready to join us? And it's Old Home Week, so let's bring in these kids, the Association of Awesomeness, because it's the first of the month. It's also time for birthdays in just a moment. Come on up, folks. Yay. Looks like we've got, come on up. Oh, looks like Butch Cassidy. No, who is that? Come on, oh, Woody Guthrie. Well, what have you guys been up to today?
Gotta be with the kids.
we've been packing backpacks for people that.
At the Prescott School District Family Resource Center.
Good job.
Excellent job.
You
want to share your favorite toys? No? Okay.
And we made some cards to go in the backpacks, wishing everyone to have a good day at school. Oh.
No, I just was holding it for you because you've got your hands full.
Yeah, thank you. So we're going to be doing service projects every so often, and we'd love to get the congregation involved. We'll keep you posted on those.
Excellent. And now,
The backpack? Yeah, show them the backpack.
A couple more kids too that didn't want to
See?
excellent backpacks for the children in the local school district. And for those of you that were born in August, I know there's some in the audience. And if you're up on stage, you can step forward. Any August babies up here? Any August babies? Stand up so that we can, and we say, happy birthday, dear loved ones. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear loved ones. Happy birthday to you. Yay. And let's all stand up and say our benediction. Something wonderful is happening through me
right now. It is happening through my mind, my body, and my affairs. I think it, I believe it, I feel it, I know it, I accept it. Thank you, life.
And thank you for singing us out.